Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with a end of the month SitRep about our status report of the squadron, the 807th Royal Naval Air Squadron. Now, this is our first report, and if this is the first time you've come to the website and you viewed the status report, welcome to the squadron website. You should be able to see one of these reports in our forums every month. Close to the end of the month. And what I'm going to do is basically just go about what's going on with our squadron. First of all, hot topic, expectations or code of conduct and expectations of the squadron somewhat are not being met and by some members, and I just want to reiterate that it's not an option. Our code of conduct is there specifically for our members to adhere to, and if they can't, or if they don't want to, or if they fail to adhere to them, what we'll do is we'll let them know what's going on, like, hey, we notice that you're failing to meet the code of conduct. And then if it continues, it could result in expulsion from the organization, you kicked from the squadron. So if you like the squadron, if you want to be part of the squadron, you have to act in accordance with our code of conduct. Now, what I think is possibly the reasoning or the stemming of why people might be violating the code is because, one, either they don't know what the code is, and that's possible, or two, they don't want to know what it is, or maybe they didn't know that we even had one. Partially what this video is about, it's about letting everyone in the squadron know what's going on, and part of that is letting me inform you that we're failing in certain aspects, and one of them is the code. You can view the code on the website. It's actually under Code of Conduct. It's right here on the right hand side under wireless. Basically, these are external locations. So if I click Code of Conduct, it'll bring up a Google document, Code of Conduct of the 807 Squadron, and you can go through this code. One of the rules of the Code of Conduct, when we're on voice chat, either on TeamSpeak or in War Thunder, we do not use foul language. We do not cuss, okay? And we can't continue to cuss or use foul language on any of our voice chats. One reason is some of our members have children, and maybe future members might have children. Another reason why is, okay, so what? We're all adults, we're playing, right? Maybe there's a couple of kids on, but in our squadron, and maybe we know when they're on and when they're not on, but we're aware of who the adults are on the channel and stuff like that, and you feel like cussing is or using foul language is okay. Well, it's not, because you don't know every member and what his gaming style is. A lot of our members, and I find this to be unusual, but a lot of our members don't have headsets. They play the game through their speakers, okay? And they might have their voice chat on push to talk. So you don't know that they're necessarily on speakers unless they start talking. And because of that, when you cuss, say the F word or whatever, it comes across their speakers. Who hears that? Their wife, their kids, their pets, whatever. What I'm trying to say is you don't know who's on the other end, so don't use foul language. I told this to one person. Actually, I tell anytime the subject about foul language comes up, I like to quote a football head coach. He had a player that you probably remember, Ocho Cinco or Chad Johnson, right? Well, Chad Johnson used to use the F word in every sentence. Everything he said was F this and F that, and I can't believe the F in this, or why did F in that and F in this, right? All the time he would use the F word. The head coach approached him and said, first of all, you can't be doing that, especially on TV if you're doing a TV interview. I mean, just imagine a football player using the F word all the time in a TV interview. That would just be mind-boggling, right? Why? Why is that mind-boggling? For one reason. And then because it's unacceptable. It's socially unacceptable. That's why. And then another thing is, are you trying to get your point across that something is extremely wrong, right? When you're using the F word. Are you? No, he's not. He's just saying it because that's part of his vocabulary, because he's got a weak mind. He didn't train himself not to use it. He just uses it because he's lazy when it comes to speaking words. Okay. So let's say that he's trying to get his point across to someone because it's super important or it's extremely messed up, and he uses the F word. He says, that's effing wrong, or whatever, right? Guess what? Anyone that knows Chad is going to say, oh, that's just his average. That's what he says all the time. It's no big deal, right? And he's not being able to get his point across. But if you're the kind of person, or if Chad is the kind of person, that never cusses, never uses foul language, and then something is severely messed up or wrong, or you're trying to get your point across, and you say, F in this, people will go, oh my gosh, he just used the F word. Oh, what the heck is going on? And they will become attentive to what you're saying. So use the power of the foul language to your advantage. Don't fall into the socially unacceptable using foul language in your everyday conversations, because that's not right. I don't care what you do off camera or off the mics, but when you're on mic, make sure you do not use your foul language. That brings me to the next point. But when we're on comms, we have a specific way that we are supposed to communicate between members. I understand when everybody's in the hangar and you guys are trying to get your flights together and you're trying to go on missions, or what battle rating are we playing? What are we playing? Arcade? Are we going to play realistic? Are we going to pick a mission? Are we playing a squadron battle? What are we doing? That's fine. But when you're in the air and you're flying, there are specific codes and words that we should be using amongst ourselves to use to communicate, to enhance our combat capabilities. Of course we're not, because we haven't had that training. Now, I've posted it in the forums. We haven't had that training, so I don't expect everybody to abide by that. I understand that's just kind of a primer. But once everybody gets a chance to go to the training on how to use your radios in your planes, then I expect everybody to start abiding by that. Okay, but we're not, that's not where we're at right now. I apologize if this video goes on a little bit longer than normal, but it's mainly because this is the first one and I wanted to get some points across. So, and then in the future ones, we'll just follow up with how well we're doing on these. Okay, the next topic is training. For those of you that don't know, we have a website, and I'm looking at it right now, and you're looking at it right now. On the website, there's a place right there called events. I expect you to go there more than once a week. I expect you to go to the event calendar regularly. Okay, so let's go to the event calendar. If you look at the event calendar, we have training tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, formation training. We had squadron maneuvers on Monday at 8 o'clock. We had squadron maneuvers on the 6th at 9 o'clock. We had a squadron social at 1900 on the 14th. These are dates that I expect people to show up to. Now, I understand if you've got something going on and you can't make it or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But what you can do is you can click on the event, you can find your name under who's actually being invited, and like my ninjas right here has already stated, he's going to be there. Okay, where's Mr. Everything? Right here. I need to change my name to attending. There you go. And it's that easy. You notice how I just changed my name to attending right there. All you do is click this little wheel and then you can set it to you're not attending, okay? Or maybe, or something. That's basically to let the instructor, the flight instructor, or myself, depending on what kind of a meeting it is, know whether or not you're going to be there. And if you're not, it's okay. It's okay if you're not, if you can't make it because you got to work or you got to go to school or it's at the wrong hour for you or something. Let me know. You can always post something down here in the comments, you know, why you're not able to make it or if it was a better day or something like that. But I think that we're new. Our squadron's only 1 month old. We only have a little over a dozen people in the squadron, right? So either you didn't know that the calendar was there, or you don't check it. You don't go back to the calendar weekly to see what's been updated. It doesn't abide by you or fall into the timeline that you're able to make it, or there could be a whole lot of different reasons. And with only a dozen people, I'm only kind of expecting 2 or 3 people to show up to each of these trainings. That would be 300% more than we've had. And if I can get 2 or 3 people to show up at each of the trainings over the course of a month, that specific one training that I'm trying to do will be knocked out. Everybody will have it. But if no one shows up, then we're not going to get any training. And then what does that say about our squadron? Why are we even here? Why did you join a squadron? Why did you even click on and join a squadron? Are you just want to fly with friends? No, no, no. I understand that you can become friends and you have friends and you build friends and you'll become friends with everyone in the squadron or most people in the squadron. Some people you're not going to like. It's just the way it works. But that's not why the squadron's here. The squadron's here not to just get a bunch of guys together and go blast somebody. That's not what it's about. What it's about is developing teamwork, working together, developing our skills to be better than our opponent. We're trying to become more than just players. We're trying to be competitors. We want to be competitive. We want to be like when we get into a match and we are flying in formation and we're on a mission to go blow something up, and the rest of the players look over and they see that 807 tag, they're going to say, all right, we're good because 807's with us. Those guys, I've flown with them before and they kill people. I've flown with them before and every time I've flown with them, we've won our match. Or I flew wing with them and those guys know what they're doing. That's why we have the 807. Not to just get together on voice chat. You could do that with anyone. You could do that with your friends. You don't even have to be in a squadron to do that. All you got to do is invite somebody. I'm sorry, I got into a rant. I apologize, but I'm passionate about that, okay? We have squadrons to be able to compete. Now, also, there are squadron events, and you might not know this, but I'm going to show it to you. Okay, let's go to War Thunder, right? Here it is. If I was teamed up with someone and I went to change my mode, you can see it right there. I have squadron arcade events, squadron realistic events. We can actually take these events on, but if you look at these events, I'm going to click the question mark. It requires that we have 8, not 4 to 8, not 2 to 4, not 1 to 8. It requires 8 players. Okay, if we join with just, let's say, 2 or 3 people, let's say we form a team of 2 to 3 people and we jump into our squadron battle, we're going to be teamed up or put up against another team that's got 8. So it's going to be like 2 versus 8, and we're going to get our ass kicked. Okay, so I don't want to do squadron battles until we are, first of all, trained up. I don't want to just get in with a bunch of individuals. We got to be trained up, and I want to have 8 people. Well, that's going to be hard to do if we only have a total of 12 people in our squadron, and they're from all over the world. We got people in India, we got people in the UK, we've got people in Canada and the US, and we got them all over the world. And so not everybody's going to be able to be on at the same time. So we need to build our membership, and we need to constantly grow so we can get these people in the squadron battles, right? Because that's why you make a squadron, is so you can participate in squadron events, right? Okay. So that comes to membership. That's the next topic, okay? When I click on the 807th, and you can look, we have 14 people in the squadron. So we're looking at a few people I've never flown with, which might just be time of day. That's possible. Put the word out. So what I'm saying is, when you're in a match, use the in-game chat to advertise the 807th is recruiting. Just say, hey, the 807th Squadron's recruiting, looking for new members. Check us out, 807th on the squadron list, or check us out on our website at 807.engine.com. You know, just put that out. Don't have to say anything else. Put it out real early, and put it out to all, not just your team. So when you're chatting, make sure everyone can hear that. And if people are saying stop spamming information, or why do you do that, or whatever, just ignore them. Don't even reply to them. And that's another thing, replying to negative comments. I don't want to see any negative comments coming from our squadron in the chat. I don't want, like, if someone rams you, or if a friendly shoots you, something stupid happens that you think deserves some kind of rebuttal, don't. Okay? If somebody rams you, you know, just say, oh my gosh, you just rammed me, or, you know, why'd you do that, or something. That's fine. Don't say, you effing idiot, why did you ram me? No. See, that's negative. He might have been, it might have been a mistake. His hand might have slipped. Something might have happened. Don't automatically assume that he did it on purpose. Okay? And even if he did do it on purpose, don't fuel the fire by just being that guy. Don't say, you effing stupid MF. No, don't. Okay? Just say, oh my gosh, you're going to hurt the team. You know, you shouldn't have ran me. It was an accident. Why'd you do that? Whatever. You know, if somebody kills you legitimately when you probably think you shouldn't have been killed, don't cuss them out or anything like that. Just say, good game, and get out of the match. Take a deep breath. If you start cussing at somebody because of a game, then maybe you need to take a chill pill. This is just a game. We're here to have fun, right? We're here to enjoy it. Yes, I understand you're competitive and you got your juices flowing, but if it starts to get to a point where it's starting to make you want to cuss, put the game down, go get a drink, relax, take a deep breath, and when you calm down, then come back to the game. It's that simple. You'll fly better and you'll be more competitive if you do that. Okay, back to recruiting. So yeah, in game, definitely recruit, right? But also, if you're on our website, go to right here where it says recruitment forum post. Okay, I want everybody to do this a lot. I want you to do it more than once a day. But I know if you don't, hey, it's cool. But I want you to do it once a day or more than once a day. But I understand you're not going to do that. You just post anything you want on there, right? You can post, had great games, that was tough, loved flying my Spitfire, loved flying my Focke-Wulf, or whatever. You can put anything on there. Just avoid the word bump. Don't say bump, friendly bump, bumping the thread. Don't say any of that. Because what it does, by putting a comment on there, what it is doing, it is bumping. But by putting the word bump, you're implying that the only reason why you went there was to bump it. But that's not what the impression of the people we want. We want them to think that we're actually using the thread to recruit. Okay, this guy right here, the bee killer, right? He is, I'm gonna reply, AB or RB, because he's curious, right? He's thinking about joining a group. We love to play RB, but some play AB just to grind XP and lions. that bumps our thread up to the top of the list. So when people are looking for active squadrons on the active squadron recruitment list, they will see our post on the top of the list, because every time you post on our thread, it moves our thread to the top. And then as other people move theirs to the top, ours gets pushed down, then gets pushed onto the second page, gets pushed down, gets pushed onto the third page, and down until someone goes in and posts. And when you post, it puts it back to the number one spot. Okay, and that's why I recommend that you go ahead and post in on the number one spot. You notice I posted a bunch of times to keep us current. Okay, let's go back to the Squadron forums. I'm just going to kind of show you. Look at that. We are number one on the thread. All right. Now, also, just FYI, when I stated that training was going to be done with the Gladiator. I've decided to go ahead and change that to the Nimrod Mark II. We were going to do the Sea Gladiator, but I've changed it to the Nimrod Mark II because historically the Nimrod was actually after World War I started, and they changed to the Sea Gladiator or the Spitfire or what have you as they continued on in the years. The Nimrod was actually designated or delegated back to a trainer type aircraft, and the Nimrod Mark II is a naval aircraft. Um, it's right there, and you should be able to unlock that in no time flat. And so that is the, if you haven't already unlocked it, this is going to be our trainer. So whenever we're doing any kind of training, when it's just squadron members flying, either like let's say formation flying, or if we are doing radio communication training, or if we're doing aerial acrobatics, or basically any kind of instructor-led training, we're going to be in the Nimrod. So go ahead, and not Nimrod Mark 1. We're going to be in the Nimrod Mark 2. By standardizing it, what that also does is, like, if one guy's in a Spitfire, another guy's in a Hurricane, another guy's in a Tempest, another guy's in a Venom or whatever, right? Then you're going to have all kinds of different flight characteristics, and it's going to be hard to see as an instructor whether or not your students are learning what kind of aerial maneuvers. Are they able to learn how to stay in formation? Are they, what are they learning? And so by keeping everybody in the same, it also means everybody's on the same footing. Everybody will know exactly that this type of maneuver can be done. Plus, it's extremely maneuverable, and it's almost impossible to crash. So, yeah, so Nimrod Mark II is our official squadron trainer. Now, when we might be doing some squadron maneuvers like head to head, like 4 to 8 of us against 4 to 8 of someone else, all from the same squadron, because we can do that in custom battles. If we do that, in that case, then we might do like Spitfires against 109s, or we might do Hurricanes against AT-51s or something, right? So we will do some training as a squadron versus like Op 4, opposing forces, and those guys will be either in like Japanese planes, which I guess I've got to train up on my Japanese planes just so that I can play the Op 4 during those trainings. So that's one motivation for me to get the Japanese tree done, is basically so that I could play Pacific Op 4 for our squadron. Now, we can also play Germans as Op 4 against, so if you want to participate as Op 4 against the squadron during squadron training exercises, then I would recommend developing your Germans. Okay, what else? Now, I understand that in squadron battles, we could go British against British, or British against American, or British against Russians, or whatever, but that's not how we're going to train. That's, Maybe we might throw some hypotheticals in there, but right now we're going to be focusing against the Germans and the Japanese. Yeah, so we'll have Op 4, and in that case, when we do those battles, you'll be flying your British planes, or or something else. Maybe we'll do some American stuff or whatever. And then when we do like specific trainings, we're probably going to be in the Nimrod Mark II. And I hope that helps you guys out in understanding the training. And the first trainings that I want to get out of the way are just very few trainings, but I want to get formation flying, because formation flying is not just for parades. Formation flying is the first step in getting your squadron or your section together to engage the enemy. You engage as a unit. When you're not in formation, when you guys are all flying in 4 different corners of the map, you're individuals. You're not a team. You're not even set up to do the tactics. There are tactics that will come in future trainings that start from certain formation. 2 types of attacks. There's line abreast and there's line astern. And when you're line abreast, that's a great formation to go against bombers. Line astern is great defensive against multiple fighters. But you can't get into these formations if you guys are separated and didn't start in any kind of formation. So you got to do formations first. Learn your formations. Learn how to fight as a team. Then it'll go as, or fly as a team. And then from there, you'll develop radio communication skills. And then from that, you'll be able to go into combat formations or combat tactics. Learn your formations first, which there is a post. Learn radio communications, which there is also a post. And then the tactics will come after I get some people finished with formations and radio communications. Got to get that out of the way. Start getting those knocked out. I'm going to anticipate we'll be done within the next 2 months. We'll have formations knocked out. We'll have radio communications knocked out. We'll start combat tactics, and when we do that, we'll be able to do some head-to-head amongst our own squadron to kind of get trained up. And then we'll start being able, maybe on the 3rd month, I mean, this if all goes well, the 3rd month we'll be actually engaging in squadron battles in game, and we'll be able to test our mettle against some other squadrons that have probably been doing it for years. But if we do it right, whether they've been doing it for years or not, if we do it right, we'll be able to compete, and we'll be winning. And that's my goal. As a squadron leader, that's my commitment to you, is I want you to have more W's than losses. Okay, having said that, let's go to this last thing I want to say. It does show arcade, realistic, and simulator battles right here, and it shows how many air targets as a squadron we've killed in the last 14 days, right? And how many times we've died, okay? In realistic battles, we are at 50%. That's pretty close to 50% in the negative. Okay, we've got 2-to-1 death to kills. 2-to-1. That's unacceptable. That's, what are you doing? Are you just flying in there and dying? And you know what? Having the either you're new and you don't know what you're doing, or you're a veteran and you don't know what you're doing, or you don't even care. You just, throwing your life away, or you're flying a bomber and you don't get any air kills at all. All you do is die, or something, right? That's unacceptable. We're a fighter squadron, for one thing, so we need to have some kills. Our kills in realistic need to be equal or greater than the number of deaths. Okay, so my goal for you is to teach you how to fly, how to do acrobatic maneuvers, how to work as a team in formation, how to use the radio properly, and tactics-wise, which planes to engage first and which ones to not engage first. And I will get your kill numbers up. Okay, now I'm not saying that I'm the greatest pilot in the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. Because I'm not. Okay, but when I work as a team with another pilot, we rack up the kills. You'll notice, like my last two videos that I uploaded about kills was when I was flying with Wilson. In one match, I got 16 kills. In the second match with him, I got 17 kills. In the first match, yes, I did lose 5 planes. But that's a 3-to-1 in my favor. 16 kills to 5 losses. And in the second match, I got 17 kills with 2 losses. Actually, not even 2 losses. I got 1 loss because I only flew 2 planes. My first one was shot down, and then I jumped into a second plane and finished it up with 17 kills. Okay, now in arcade battles, we're doing okay, almost 50-50, but almost even. But we need to get that in. That's ground targets. Okay, air targets, we're not doing okay. In air targets, we're horrible. So we need to really crank up the air target kills in arcade. We need to really crank up the air target kills in realistic. We just need to not die as often, because it looks like, look at that, 23,000 or 2,300 deaths in arcade in 14 days. Yes, I understand that these numbers are everybody in the squadron added together, and some people play a lot more than others and things like that. But let's try to get that number down. Let's strive for 50-50 in arcade and realistic. And then once we get there, then we're going to strive to be better than 50-50. All right, well, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. And I know it was really long. And what did we talk about? We talked about recruiting in the forums, in the game. We talked about code of conduct, foul language, visiting the website. I request that you visit the website more than once a week. The Nimrod Mark II as our trainer and how we're going to conduct training, where you can find training. Okay, the website's about to expire. Today the website is expiring. What I did was I went to donate days. There's something called free you can click on, and what it does is it takes you to a survey. You fill out these surveys, and every one of these surveys you fill out, it adds days to the website. And if everybody did that, we would have like 365 days. Because if everybody put like 10 days in, that'd be 120 days, 140 days. So let's go ahead and do that. I added 9 days. Let's see if everybody else can add some days. Or you can pay $8.99, will get you 30 days. And when the website expires, then it'll go back to, you'll see ads and the calendar will disappear. All right, well, thanks for checking this video out, and I'll see you on in the aerodrome.